Hello there.
Hi. An unfamiliar voice.
Squeaky voice there. That's new to the show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Say hello.
Hello.
This is little Phoebe, my daughter.
Oh, great.
She's been nagging me for weeks and weeks and weeks to come on the radio show because a brother came on the last episode or the episode before.
Yeah.
She's like, why can't I come on? Why can't I come on? I'm like, okay, I'll give it. It's Christmas. It's a Christmas present.
Yeah. There you are on the radio. So what have you been up to then, lads?
Ooh. Busy.
What haven't we been up to?
You're sick of the sight of moles, aren't you?
Oh, yeah,
moles.
moles.
Oh.
Honestly, if I can have just 2 or 3 weeks off over Christmas and not have to set a mole trap, I'll be a happy man.
Is this inside or outside?
This is outside.
Outside.
This is outside they come.
Unless you've got soil carpet.
Yeah. Oh, well.
They make a mess, man. They make a mess.
Yeah. You wouldn't have thought that, would you?
Honestly, I had this one lovely little old lady over in Norton, and I just couldn't catch this mole. And she had this pristine garden, and it absolutely wrecked it. Just this one mole, tiny little thing, completely wrecked the garden. And I felt so bad because I went back for about 4 or 5 weeks, and I just couldn't catch it. I had so many mole traps in. And in the end, I did get it, and she was very, very grateful. She gave me a £5 tip. She said, "Get yourself a drink."
Oh, I didn't get mole traps for that.
That was a tip for
All the
me.
secrets come out of here. So.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But yeah, moles, they do, don't they? And they're quite amazing creatures. Sometimes you'll get the mole hill. So the mole hill itself is just basically where the moles have been cleaning out their tunnels, and they push that out. It's called erupting. They literally, sometimes you'll be laying traps and you see one start to erupt. It's quite amazing. It just pushes it up out of the soil. But sometimes you'll see them, and they'll be like in between the cracks of some paving stones where there's some cement missing, and you'll look. And I swear it's true, and it's the stones are bigger than the hole in between the slabs, and it's it's like one of them freaks of nature. I don't understand how it happens, how they do it, but they are.
Some of the molehills as well, they're literally like Mount Everest. They're huge, and you think, and then when you finally catch it, and it's literally tiny little thing. Like, how the hell does it do that?
But luckily, it's usually only one mole, isn't it? Yeah. Apart from breeding season, it's said that they basically, the females come into season for just one day of the year in each area. So all the male moles, they're all going crazy looking for the females. But other than that, moles, they'll fight to the death if they was to bump into each other, whether they're male and male, it doesn't really matter to them. They're very, very territorial, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, they'll actually fight to the death, so you can't really catch them and release them, which is a shame, because they're cute little animals, but believe me, if you've got them on your golf course, they're your worst nightmare, because they'll ruin the greens and everything.
That used to be a fun job, though. We used to do the moles down Stourbridge Golf Club a few years ago. I don't know why we don't still do them, actually.
I think we cleared them all.
But it was great because we'd get a golf buggy and just tootle around the golf course on this golf buggy with all our mole traps. It was brilliant, wasn't it? Yeah. We had little Pinot and running along beside us, his old dog. I used to love that job.
It was good, man. Especially on Ladies' Day.
Is it always a single mole? Or...
Yeah, I mean, if you a typical back garden, back garden, it's usually just one mole because, like Chris says, they're really territorial, so you don't generally get two in an area that size. If you've got acres of land, there's going to be 2, 3, 4, however many.
But breeding season, that's when you catch. Occasionally, you'll catch two in one trap, and they'll be always facing each other. But it's because they've seen the other mole that's already caught it in the trap, sniffed it out, and gone, I'm going to have a fight with you, mate. I want this territory.
You know what we've never done? We've never caught an albino mole. No. Still to this day, we've not caught an albino mole.
They do exist, gold ones and albino ones. Yeah. But they reckon it's 1 in 50,000. We must be getting there. In 15 years, I've got a call.
I feel like I've set 50,000 mole traps this year, to be honest.
It's just this week.
Yeah.
Is it getting worse with climate change, for want of a better word? Because it's a lot milder, really, than it normally is, isn't it?
It depends, really. All pests seem to have like a cycle, don't they? Like with wasps, sometimes there'll be all the signs. You'll have the perfect spring, the perfect winter, perfect spring, perfect summer, and there'll be nothing. But then
it was like that this year. I mean, we had such a washout of a summer, didn't we? Really, generally. But the wasps have been insane. Yeah. Whereas, like a couple of years ago, when we had, I think, the COVID year, like when it was blazing hot, nothing. No wasps at all. It's like, how does that work?
Yeah, that should have been the perfect storm that year, and we was like, oh, okay. There's not many wasps about at all, so it's quite strange. So unless it was people at home, because they were at home, perhaps they was tackling it on their own. Most blokes are like.
And also because people were at home so much, it's like they notice things more, don't they?
Yeah. So there's a definite kind of. When I started 15 years ago, I'd have certain times of the year, I'd have certain stuff in the trucks. Now we've got to
Can
carry
be
everything all the time.
Really?
You know, you still have certain seasons, squirrel season, the male mating season, when we have that rush on in February, March time, when all the moles start looking all amorous and stuff.
Yeah.
But I still did an active wasp nest about 2 weeks ago, which is insane, really, for this time of year. But they were going in and out.
Yeah.
I was like, I say to them on the phone, "Are you sure? Are you sure you got wasps? Because it's not, it's too late." And then I went out.
Yeah.
Lo and behold.
Does it like upset their clock? Completely reverse. A bit like plants, and then they think, "Oh, frost's going to come, we better close in," and then all of a sudden they're
A
out
little
again.
bit maybe, yeah. It's hard to say because it's. I mean, let's face it, we're not having like extremes of weather. It's just turned more into like just the same thing all year round, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
gets a bit warmer in the summer and colder in the winter, but
Exactly
there's
right.
not like when I was a kid. It was like you'd have snow for 2 weeks and things like that. And now you might. I mean, we went for 4 or 5 years, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like cluster flies, isn't it? That was a nightmare the last few years because we had literally around here no frosts. Well, cluster flies, they literally cluster up in your loft. I mean, they're an interesting pest, aren't they? They're horrible little things. They don't cause no problem to us, apart from you get a house full of flies.
Is that them little black things or?
They're well, them tiny.
They gather all over like windows and stuff. Like I remember that video you did for YouTube. You opened that Velux window and they just all fell on you.
Fell on my head.
Yeah.
It made for good viewing there. It made for good viewing.
Yeah.
It's like you'd set it up.
Yeah, because they're like parasitic, aren't they? So what they do in the springtime, they leave and they find places where there's earthworms. Like they're kind of a bit more of a rural pest, really, because where the rural area is, that's where you get piles of manure and things like that. They find earthworms, lay an egg on the earthworm. The egg then hatches out and goes into the earthworm and lives inside the earthworm, eating all the bits that it can eat. Doesn't want to kill it until the very end.
Yeah.
So then come autumn time, the adult fly hatches out, the earthworm then dies. What a lovely life cycle, eh? And then what it does, it goes and mates, and then it goes back, usually, to the loft that it came from. So what you need to do, though, what drives them inside is the weather. And you need a cold frost. Cold frost will drive them all inside your loft. Then we can come along and let off aerosols and things like that, kill as many as we possibly can. But we always say to customers, wait until the first hard frost. And we did that for like 4 years, didn't we? And I was like, well, we hadn't had hard frost in spring now. It's like,
no. I mean, really, we've not had one this year, have we?
I think so. This year we've been all right, haven't we?
I did a cluster fly job a couple of weeks ago down this massive, huge new build house down the Mole Flat in Woolheath. Huge place. It was only half built, but they had a cluster fly, massive cluster fly problem there. I'm like, how? Where did that come from? This house has only just been built,
Yeah, you have to be careful as well, because quite often you'll find them in houses, lofts, like in the countryside, that have got bats, which then bats, you've got to get out of there. The bat comes on top of everything. You've got to live with flies, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Because the bats are so protected.
Really?
So protected, yeah.
So I suppose then you can't kill them, so you have to eke them out there in a way.
What, the bats?
The bats, yeah.
Well, it's a minefield, absolute minefield. You usually, the correct thing to do is get in touch with like the Bat Society and people like that.
But once you do that, then you're opening yourself up to all manner of
Yeah.
hurt, really. Because the best thing to do if you discover you've got bats is just don't tell anybody, basically.
And don't hurt the bats,
Yeah,
obviously.
don't hurt the bats.
You know, look it up and things like that. Because what these Bat Societies will do, they'll charge you about between £500 and £1,000 to come and sit in your back garden with listening devices in the summertime, listening to the squeaks, because they've all got different species, have got different squeak.
Oh,
Tell you which ones it is and what you can and can't do and all that. And that's just the start of the process.
really?
You know, some people have done it, they haven't taken our advice. That guy who was doing that building down in Cradley Heath, and he ended up just stopped. The whole project was stopped. That's it. Protected species. And then you've got to build bat boxes and all that. And, you know.
Did they get rid of them then in the end, or after they've done the little,
I don't know,
I don't know.
because our job basically is to go, there's bat droppings there.
Yeah.
I'm going now. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's bat droppings here. We're off.
This is what you should
Basically.
do. It's up to you whether you want to do it. But just be very careful, because you're going to have to get your checkbook out.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're a little old lady and you've got no money, you can just end up
Yeah.
in a financial mess, like, you know, just trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But if you've got the money, do the right thing.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing, isn't it? Really?
It's
All
crazy.
the legalities. I suppose you can get to a job and think, this is going to be trouble. Let's
Yeah,
diplomatically get out of this
I think,
somehow.
like what we said before on a previous show, the laws and legislations are constantly changing and evolving, especially with like birds and stuff like that. Well, we don't really touch bird jobs, to be honest, because we generally don't know what's right and what's wrong nowadays. You know,
Yeah.
a few
It
years
takes
ago
too
we
much
could
time,
have
doesn't it, to
killed
check it
a
all
pigeon. No, nowadays we might not be able to. It's
Yeah.
like we don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But bats, you've got to be very, very careful because the fines just for disturbing a bat is phenomenal. And if you think you could have pipistrelles, which are one of the most common types, and you could have a colony of 100 bats in your loft because they're tiny little bats, you know, like the size of a house mouse. But if you disturb them, you're fined per bat that was disturbed. So they'll work out how many bats on average live there, and then you get fined for it. And it's phenomenal. I'm talking mega bucks, like I'm sure it's 500 quid a bat that's disturbed or something.
it's ridiculous.
So if you've got 100 bats, well, that's it. Sell your house, isn't it?
The Pest Interceptors, one of the Pest Interceptors juniors.
Yeah.
So basically, another reason why she's kind of a little bit of part of our team is back in lockdown when we all went into nobody was doing anything. We just set up our YouTube channel, so I decided to make some fun little videos with my son and daughter. We called them the Pest Interceptors Juniors.
Yeah.
It was just like little, like Mickey taking videos, like the phone would ring and they'd go, "Oh my God, you've got a mouse!" And she'd go, "Oh God, let's go!" And then they'd run down to the van, and I got a clip of Daniel, my son, driving the van, but he wasn't actually driving, but it looked like he was, you know, and. She was there bashing a wasp nest with a broom, stuff like this.
It was Onion Mate. No, it wasn't a real wasp nest. We're not that
No, it was
cool.
like paper mache.
Yeah.
So you're kind of the pest interceptor, aren't you? Yeah.
So what did you enjoy
Don't
the
be
most,
shy.
Phoebe?
Enjoy the most. Probably making the videos, but we haven't made one for like a
we
year
need
or
to-
two.
we
now.
Did you do something with the stones? Because there was that fad, wasn't there, around King's Swim?
Oh,
with the
yeah.
Oh
stones?
yeah, we did some stones.
Yeah,
like-
again, back in lockdown, we used to like paint stones and hide them in the park, and we would go on our
Oh,
Facebook page and say whoever finds the Pest Interceptor stone will win 20 quid or whatever.
Yeah,
And
more
honestly,
20
they
quid
used-
it was.
used
Me
to be
paying
like
the
Fred did
prices.
tell you.
No.
And I think the one kid, he found it like within an hour. You know, there was
Really?
a photo of him holding this stone in the air. I had to go and deliver him his 20 quid. Didn't I?
Yeah, we hit them a bit better after that.
Yeah.
That was a good one that we did though. The first competition we did, the Spot the Van.
Oh,
Because we've
yeah.
got two, very identifiable vehicles basically, and we did a competition. It was 200 quid. That was you had to pay up.
I know.
200 quid, and it was basically if you spot a Pest Interceptor van, post it on our page or whatever, or I think it was I'm from King Swinford, and you'll be entered into the draw to win 200 quid. And it was mental that everyone was posting
Really?
it. Like,
Didn't I
great.
from King's Swinford Facebook group go mental?
They
as
tried
well?
they tried to ban it. Because everyone, literally, the whole I'm from King Swinford Facebook page was just pictures of our vans.
Yeah,
So in the
yeah.
end, they went, no, we don't like this. And then everyone like ganged up on I'm from King Swinford admins because they're like, no, they're having a bit of fun. Leave them to it.
Yeah.
So it
Good
was
luck,
like we
King's
won in
Swinford
the end.
people.
And weirdly, the girl that won lives in my road. She just
Yeah.
walked up the road and took a photo
Took
of
a
my
photo of
van.
it. Oh, that's a cop out, that is, isn't it?
Yeah, but we can pick it out, so.
Yeah.
No, these two, it was all done fair. We had all the names. Daniel and Phoebe picked the name out, didn't you? Do
Oh yeah.
you remember?
Oh yeah, I remember slightly.
Slightly.
So what was your best thing that you did doing the videos, other than recording a video and being like a film star?
Like I can't really think.
You can't think.
I liked it all.
I like that one with the hornets, the killer hornets.
When you were like, maybe I could get my suitcase out of the loft in case I want to go to holiday again.
Yeah.
In lockdown, which you probably couldn't.
Who made the pretend hornets nest?
I think Mummy made that,
Yeah,
didn't she? Mummy made the
it's
pretend.
great.
Oh, I thought it was one of your kids made it. If you want.
Yeah. And did it change your fear of, or didn't you have any fear of like spiders and mice
I
and stuff?
do hate spiders,
Mm.
especially the big ones. I always say I'm never going to Australia because there's all the poisonous spiders.
Oh, see.
Okay, so if we book a holiday to Australia, you're not coming then, no?
Yeah.
All right, you can stay at home. That's all right. You can go and do the moles for me.
Okay.
All right.
I suppose that's something that could be developed, isn't it? Junior pest in terms of
Yeah, I don't
pest
see why
interceptors.
not. I don't
Raise
see why
the
not.
awareness of kids and stuff.
Well, we did another video as well in the series of videos with my mum and dad as well. They were the Pest Interceptors seniors. So we had the Pest Interceptors juniors interviewing my mum and dad for roles as Pest Interceptors seniors.
I
And,
remember we did all the bloopers because I wouldn't get the line right.
Yeah.
And I just burst into tears because everyone was laughing at me. Because I was supposed to say this one line and I just kept getting it wrong and everyone started laughing. So then I just gave up and started crying.
Ah.
But then I did it again. Got it
We got it right in the end.
we got there in the end.
Right in the end. Oh, right. So would you want to do some more then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I keep asking you and you're like, oh no, we don't have time, I can't be bothered.
God,
Sounds about
dropping me in it now. All right.
I get the same thing off him.
I promise you, over Christmas, when
Yeah,
I've got
do
a few
a
weeks
Christmas
off, we'll do another Pest Interceptors Juniors video.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll have to try and think of something good.
Yeah, it sounds great.
No.
Some bloke stopped me in Blackheath Market and he says, ask them blokes which is the wusserist time was the word he used. Which was what's the wusserist time in the year? Spring, summer, autumn or winter? And I went, well, they're busy all the time. They're always busy when they
Depends
come
what you
in.
say, what you class as worserist, really,
Yeah.
doesn't
Well,
it?
that's the worst thing you could do. Yeah. Go
Well,
and ask them blokes. I was just standing there and yeah, I'm off radio, are you? Go and ask them blokes who deal with the pests. This.
well, you could say for me, absolutely, I've covered this before here.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely
your
terrified of
phobias,
wasps.
Yeah.
Like, but that's what makes our money in the summer. Like, you know, we do 10, 15 wasp nests a day. It's
A
big
day?
money. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
In the height of the when if it's a good wasp season, good for us. Should I
Yeah,
say. Then we'll do 10, 15 a day. You know, and most of the time they take 2 minutes. Just done money. But I'm terrified of them. So it's like good and bad in equal
So
measure.
you
really.
blast the wasp, but you take the bees out.
Yeah,
don't you?
always
Yeah.
always save the bees and rehome them.
Got a few
Yeah.
lined up for the spring, haven't we? A few bee
Yeah,
removals because we don't do it. Well, I don't get involved in the bees, but you don't do it this time of year. You have to wait till the spring before you can remove them.
Yeah.
What is the reason for that? I can't remember.
Well, basically, if you was to take them out now, in a normal year, it's been a bit of a weird year, so there's not so much honey in there as there should be because of the terrible summer we've just had. But basically, what you don't want to be doing is taking the full strength of the colony out. So you could have 50 to 100,000 bees, and you
right.
could have 50 to 100 litres of honey that needs to come out. But what happens is those workers all die off now, and what you'll have in the colony right now is about 2,000 bees, all little fat winter bees they're called, and they last about 6 months to protect the queen. But what they live on is all that honey, that
It's
100
there.
litres of honey that's been collected, and they eat that slowly through the winter, slowly moving as a ball through the colony with the queen in the middle. And once it's all gone, then they literally time it so that when the first flowers come out, there's no honey left.
ready.
But it's that precise how they do it. I mean, how they do that is beyond me with our weather, but they do. So in the spring, they've got all year then, once we've transplanted them into a new hive, they've got all year to rebuild. If you just take them out now with all that honey, you can't put the honey in the hive,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
you see, because it's all curvy, it's not like flat pieces. So it's a real big no-no to take them out. Unless it's an emergency, if it's a health and safety issue, then
You've got to
maybe
do
we'd
it.
take them out. But we wouldn't want to.
No.
And it's a lot cheaper to take them out in the spring.
Does she produce all the new bees? The queen.
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
queen produces all the thousands
Yeah.
of bees. And
I think she
flying.
lives 7 years.
Really?
7 years the one queen lasts, and they're literal egg-laying machines, basically. Yeah.
And
That's our whole
you
job.
take all the stuff, don't you? Because you're going to produce. What are you going to call it? Your honey.
We haven't got
Pest
that.
honey or something.
It's become a splinter off kind of business, really. We've got another YouTube channel as well called Hems's Holistic Honey. So I'm Kristen, Ricky's Ricky Hems. I'm Kristen Hems. Because Mark doesn't do the bees. He hates it. It's enough with the wasps, with the stress in his life. Never
Oh,
the
right.
bees as well. But it's hard work, Billy. It's
Oh, yeah,
honestly looking after them. It's a real pain up the butt. It really is, because it's like people think, I want to buy a beehive, and nah, just really look into it if you do it, because the more hives you've got, the more you've got to do. You've got to go and feed them all the time. It's crazy amount of sugar. They thought I was insane in B&M Bargains.
Oh, I've been into B&M and had a trolley full of sugar.
Can I- can I
25
have
bags
25
of sugar.
bags of sugar at a
And
time.
I'll go to the till and I've got 25 of them. And I'll go,
And they look at
we
you as,
keep bees, they're to feed the bees.
Yeah,
I just have to explain myself straight away because otherwise they think I'm just weird.
Because then you have to mix it. Because it's not, you don't just give them the honey, the sugar straight away. You have to mix that 50-50 with water, depending on the time of the year, different amounts of water to the sugar. And then you've got to take it all the way down the farm, get all through the gates with all these litres and litres of stuff, put it in a feed on the top of each colony, and so it's like a full day.
Do you literally then feed the syrup or whatever it is into the hive?
Yeah.
To feed them? Oh, well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's mad though, isn't it? Because when they're living in someone's chimney or in a roof or something, no one's feeding them then, they survive the winters. But we have to care for them, you know, as part of the... we always point that out like when we're doing a quote for taking bees out of a chimney, because it's like, yeah, there's that, plus we've got to rebuild your house, take it apart, rebuild it, take the bees out in between that, and then we've got a colony now that's
like
going to last forever.
The work doesn't end there, does it? In fact, it just starts really.
Yeah.
That's like the start of the... But the customer's happy because their bees are gone. But that's the start of the work.
The work
for the...
really.
Well, for Chris and Ricky anyway.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah. So
What you do is you just, they ring you, you answer it, you're like, yeah, 100 quid please. You get the money and you send Chris and Ricky off to the
That's my secret. He's just sat there. I knew he weren't going out. That mileage on that van never goes up.
Oh, kids, eh?
Honestly.
Kids, eh?
The mouth of the babes.
So are there like set seasons? Not obviously there's an overlap, but is there set seasons when you know, well, this is going to start next month? We know this is going to be start, like the moles, for instance, or something.
Moles are pretty much all year round,
Yeah.
annoyingly. But the wasps, you kind of know that it's sort of June, July, they'll start kicking in. Got the tree bumblebees start about April, May, don't they? Something like that.
Yeah,
so there are certain seasons, but like because obviously the country and the weather doesn't know what it's doing anymore. Everything's changing, and just we're doing wasps in December and stuff like that. Whereas before it used to be that's wasp season, that's rat season, that's mouse season, but now it's.
You do tend to get an influx down here of field mice this time of the year.
I was going to say, do you get them coming in, and because it's more, they're not coming in?
Well, there's like a bit of a fallacy that goes round, right? And it's like, oh, the mice and stuff come inside because it's cold outside. Now, with field mice, that's kind of true. But it's not with house mice and it's not with rats. Because the rats usually live in the sewer, which is the same temperature all year. House mice, they live in houses, they don't live outside. Okay, so field mice, yeah, truth. But how would you say the percentages of field mice to house mice jobs? 50-50?
No, it's more field mice. I think it's more field mice.
Yeah,
it's probably about 70-30 field mice. I would say.
So the house mice, you see what happens though is people don't realise how much more time you spend inside the house in the winter compared to the summer. So you're in the summer, you're probably outside in the back garden, you're not listening, watching Coronation Street, hearing scratches in the walls and stuff. So rats and house mice, they're there all year round. It's just that in the winter.
House mice, does that start off in a house then? I mean,
no one can answer that question.
No, I was going to say, why
do they parachute
it's got to
in
come
or
from somewhere, doesn't it? Yeah.
But don't forget, all it needs is one pregnant female. So
Yeah.
perhaps she gets kicked out somewhere by a more dominant female, but she's pregnant. She's looking for somewhere, finds a hole, gets in your house. But once she's in, that's the breeding machine, that is, of all the mammals, because she can produce 2,000 babies in a year.
Blimey.
So, sorry, 2,000 mice, not 2,000 mice off her, but she has babies. 6 weeks later, they can have babies.
Yeah.
She's going to have 12 babies each time, but even if you half everything, so the maths just adds up.
Don't even bother trying, Chris.
No, it's in my thing.
Are they pretty static, or do they move from, house to house?
Well,
particularly if it's like, I suppose when we lived in a terrace house, you could have 6 in a row, and you can get right.
So, I mean, when people call us and they say I've got mice, and I say you're terraced or detached or semi, if they say terraced, I'm like, it could be coming in 6 houses down, like you say, and just travelling through. I said we can get rid of them for now, but trying to find an entry point is like a needle in a haystack.
And the truth is, that's why sometimes we will use rodenticide or poison when it's house mice. Never really need to do that on field mice. We do have products that you can use on field mice if it's a really, really bad infestation. But house mice, pretty much you do need to use rodenticide on those. But you shouldn't really be using most rodenticides on field mice because they're going in and out of your house. When they go out, they're going to get eaten by foxes, badgers, owls, birds of prey, and they're going to inadvertently eat the poison. Then you end up with dead barn owls and things. So that's why you should always start mice jobs. If you're at home doing DIY, we've got a store, by the way.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Nice link.
That.
Oh, well, that's professional.
So you need to start with traps. Always start with traps. Identify what species it is. There's loads of information on our website or on our YouTube channel. There's videos literally show you the difference between a field mice and a house mice, and then you know where you can go from there. Because you don't want to be killing everything, Okay, you don't want the mice in your house, and you might be paranoid about them. You might be scared to death of them. But come on, let's think sensibly. Let's not just go around killing stuff for the sake of killing's sake. And the same with rats as well. You need to get to the root source. In fact, we're off tomorrow, aren't we, to Liverpool and then Huddersfield.
And Huddersfield.
We might want to come up on the way home. So, so that's rats, where people have had rats for 10 years each, and we'll go in and cure it in a day. Because we know you've got to get to the root cause of it. No good just killing the occasional rat. It's pointless.
Which is probably what most people do, and then they come back, don't they?
Yeah.
Right, this shop then, once tell us a bit more about it.
After all the months and months of trying to set it up and join it to our YouTube channel, it was a great success. It's
been a success. It's weaning off a little bit now, whether that's because of Christmas stuff, and everyone has got different things on their mind.
I don't suppose you wrap a mouse trap up.
No, I don't think you
I
give.
don't know. There's going to be some interesting presents this year from me.
But yeah, I mean, Chris and Ricky spent a lot of time setting up the store, and I was just semi-involved on the periphery.
He's good at wrapping stuff up.
I'm more involved now. But yeah, it took ages, didn't it? It took like months. It was like little stupid rules of Shopify and YouTube and this and that and the other. It just took ages. Luckily, we got the help of a man called the Shopify guy.
Yes.
And he sorted it all out for us. I don't know why we didn't see him in the first place, really.
At the moment, we're about to open it up into the USA as well, aren't we? So we're actually going to, because of Brexit, it's actually harder to sell to France than it is to sell to America. So we're going to be doing all our products. We're going to be sending them over the Atlantic, and we'll see how it goes over there.
We've got our own specific products as well, because our logo's all blue. Our colours are like blue, black and blue. So mouse traps usually have got this yellow, what's called a kill bar on it, a yellow bar. But we contacted China earlier in the year and said, "Can you do that in blue?" And that's our trap. It's blue for a reason.
It's blue for a reason.
That's the tagline.
That's what we say in all the videos. But the thing is with it as well, it's like people think that a mousetrap's a mousetrap. It's not. They all look very much the same, and that's why we went with this blue bar principle for our rat traps and our mouse traps and stuff. Because we know we use these. If you call us out to your house and there's a mouse problem, we'll be using these traps. If they didn't work, we wouldn't be able to use them. So we know every product that we sell, we only sell stuff that we use ourselves. It's like we've got that new product from Lodi, or a Kingsford company. We used that for the first time the other day, didn't we? Someone with an Audi.
Spray.
So if you've got an Audi, you don't want to be parking it near any rats, because the rats have worked out the pipe work on it, and some of the insulation underneath the bonnet they're making it out of soya, with the bean stuff.
Oh, really?
And they're making like a kind of composite plastic rubbery stuff out of it. But the rats have worked this out now. So, and rats, once one of them knows a trick or something to feed on, it'll get passed around all the little communities of rats all over the country. So be careful where you're parking your Audi.
It's quite funny, wasn't it? Because I had that phone call the other day. This lady from Kingsford, she said, I've got rats chewing up the pipes in my car. And I said immediately, "It's not an Audi, is it, by any chance?" And she was like, "How do you know that?" And I'm like, "I know nothing about cars, but I know that Audis of a certain age, or before a certain year, or after a certain year, are made of this, whatever Chris just said." And she was like, "I can't believe you. How did you know it's an Audi?" And I went,
I don't suppose they're thinking that. Do they, all the techie blokes, thinking, we'll be global and we'll save the carbon. So what rats are going, this is a great job for us.
This is it, free food. Free food. Delivery.
But we use this anti-rodent spray. It's basically kind of a similar thing. You know, the stuff you used to paint on your nails as a kid to stop you biting your nails? It's kind of that, but for rats. It's like a big Trex type thing. So you spray that on all the wherever they're chewing. It's meant to stop them. We'll see.
Because farmers have a problem with it as well, don't they? So if you're in a farm and it's full of rats, well, the rats will chew up your cables on your tractor, and I would think that's quite an expensive game.
Yeah.
Because your only other option, some farmers, what they do is they have these big electronic mats that go round. You part the wheels on it, and then that's electrocutes anything that goes on it. So you're all right because you're on the tyres and they're rubber. But if a rat comes across it, it'll be electrocuted. But they're fortunes. We'll sell you a can of this. I think it's 20 quid for a can. So
do the manufacturers take any notice of not just anybody that's out there working in this field? And you think, say with the mousetrap, you think, well, actually, if they adapted this a bit. And did this? Is there a dialogue between you all?
Well, we had a dialogue, and that's why our traps work. Because I tell you, we got caught out. We used to buy. There's a certain professional make of mousetrap, Easy or something they call that, and we had another professional pest control supplier, and they looked identical. I even had a sample. I looked, and I was like, they're the same thing. These are 50 pence cheaper. Well, when you're buying the amount of traps that we buy just for using at work. Well, 50 pence makes a big difference. I bought 250 traps, and then we couldn't catch nothing on them. So then I even went out, didn't I? And I put in one big house that got loads of mice in it. I set up, we marked on the one make, like a little bit of Tipex.
Yeah, a little bit of Tipex to say these are the rubbish ones.
And we couldn't catch nothing in them. We've still got the box now. I can't bring myself to throw them away. But that shows you, that you get what you pay for usually in the world, and. Buy the cheap ones and buy twice, buy 3 times, buy 4 times.
It's like when you get one of our blue bar mouse traps. It's blue for a reason. And one of the old yellow ones that you use. And when you push them down, the spring is so much stronger on these blue ones. Yeah. It's just like the extra turn of the spring make all the difference. Same with the mold traps. They've changed those recently. And they're way better. Just because they've put an extra bit of spring on it. It's little things like that.
We do try to use stuff that's British made as well. It's not always possible, but some of our stuff is British made. All our rat flaps, and they're the things what stops rats getting from out of like a sewer system. The flap stops them, and basically the broken pipe that's above the flap, the rats can go out through the flap but not return. So we do all that. Now they're British made down in Hereford.
We've been selling quite a few of them on our store, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's a good thing because the store ties up with YouTube, so people are watching a very, very successful YouTube channel, by the way. Over 60 million views now.
60 million?
But then they'll see Chris put in one of these rat flaps in, and then he'll go, click on this link now if you want to buy one of these, and then they'll go and buy it. So it's like perfect.
A little advert literally comes up along the bottom. But the way we want to do it is we want to only sell quality products. That's all we want to do, sell quality stuff, because we don't want to be selling rubbish, and the thing is, you've got to think about the environment as well. If you're selling a load of rubbish traps, what's going to happen with them? They're just going to go in landfill, aren't they? We only sell stuff that we use, that we know works, and we've usually had some kind of connotation in the design or something to do with it to make sure that, and we've tested them ourselves to make sure that things do what they say on the can, as they say. Like our mould traps in it, we only sell 3 types of mould traps. And they're the type of mould traps that Mark uses.
Yes, mainly. But also, we've got instructional videos on the YouTube channel, and there's going to be, when we send a trap out or whatever, there's going to be a little QR code to send them to an instructional video. How to lay the trap. The videos are already there, but we just need to link it up between the two somehow. So that's the difference between us and kind of a lot of other pest control supply companies as such, because they'll just sell you a thing and go, there you go.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Whereas we'll go, this is how you use it, and there'll be me in the freezing cold putting the mould trap in.
How difficult will it be to get it in marketed in the States? Is there a lot of legal stuff that you do?
I think it's more setting up the shipping. I think that's more of the problem. I don't know where the Shopify guy has gone, but it's supposed to be setting it up, but we'll see. I want that sorted before I go on my plane. Because me and Ricky's having 6 weeks off, isn't he? 6 weeks off, I'm having a month off. We can burn out between the bees out the chimneys, because don't forget, a lot of the time them 18-hour days, we might do 3 or 4 of them in a week, and because we're doing this rat-free lifetime guarantee service that no one else does, we're travelling all over the country, and sometimes we'll do 3 of those in a week, and they can be 18-hour days as well. So, and the thing is, I ain't as young as I used to be. Ricky's moaning that he's hurting all the time anyway, isn't he? And he's 26.
Blimey.
So
Is that a difficult decision? Will you be carrying on while they're away?
I'm going to have about 3 weeks off, but I'm not going anywhere. They both go on holiday and stuff. I mean, I haven't had a holiday for over 14 months. Don't get me wrong, I haven't been working as hard as these guys because I've had some personal issues and stuff.
Yeah.
But I still just need a break. I just need some time to do nothing.
Do you? I mean, not to get you worried, but do you think will they all be waiting for us when we come back, or will they have found somewhere else? Is that, or are you just confident that we know we give a good quality?
There'll be an out of office voicemail on and stuff to say if it's an emergency, just drop us an email. And if I look at the email and think, I'm going to be doing that, I'll fucking do that.
Yeah.
I'll go and put my clothes on and go and do it. But other than that, no. Just going to have some time off. As Phoebe says, okay, we can do
hold
that.
them to it, Phoebe.
We'll I promise you, we'll do a Christmas special.
Yeah.
Should we do a Christmas special in the next couple of weeks?
I suppose that's something you can develop on YouTube, can't you? In terms of educating kids as well, in a way.
Well, part of the biggest workload that me and Ricky have had, because we do all the videoing and the filming and stuff like that, while we're away, we're not going to have the access to do that. So, and the idea of a holiday is not to work, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, it's like we've spent the last 2 weeks, every spare moment when we're not doing rap work and things like that, editing videos. So we've got videos come out all the time while we're away.
You've got to keep feeding the machine, haven't you, on YouTube? I don't really get involved in the YouTube videos side of things too much, but if you stop putting content out, then YouTube will stop punching your videos out. Yeah. And we've earned, a little bit of money off YouTube, because once you get over a certain amount of subscribers and views and stuff, YouTube start paying you. We've earned money from it, but it has slowed down a bit just recently. And
it does at Christmas.
It kind of goes up and down, doesn't it? It's the same with the shop, really. Maybe just people are too busy doing Christmassy things, and shopping, and
they're not thinking about the pests, are they? Christmas, all people are worried about is what to get Auntie Madge and things like that. But I say, buy everyone a mousetrap.
Yeah.
The blue bar mousetrap.
PestInterceptors.com. .com. So we've got two websites now. We've got pestinterceptors.co.uk, which is our normal website. We've also got pestinterceptors.com, which is our online store, which we're ever increasing products on there all the time. So get your Auntie Magic wrap flap for Christmas.
Pest Interceptors like Junior's proper thistle.
Do you want your own website?
Yeah.
You want your own website?
Let's see what you manage over Christmas, eh?
Okay, we'll see what we can do. See what we can do for you.
On that one.
But it's not in my nature to be turning the work down as well. It's like putting people off till February.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we deserve a break, and we need a break. Yeah. And what's the point in earning money unless you're going to go and enjoy it? And I know what'll happen, Billy. I know what'll happen with me. I'm in Mexico, and I'll find a bee sanctuary or something. I'll be doing videos. You watch.
Yeah.
Make sure you take a t-shirt with you.
I probably will. Everywhere I go, I always take my work clothes with me just in case.
You'll have some waiter in some restaurant saying, "Somebody's told me that you can get rid of this, can you?"
Or you'll be in the middle of the hills of Mexico and say, "I've seen you on YouTube."
Yeah.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant if somebody recognised you.
A lot of our views come from like halfway across the world. You can look at the analytics, and you get people like Papua New Guinea watching over the other. Like, why?
Yeah.
Are they watching us?
I remember you saying, like, wasn't there an American woman trying to, like, do adverts for your videos?
Oh yeah, I was talking to this American actress on Instagram, and she's trying to get her to do. I think I was drunk one night, and I messaged her. And she said, yeah. She said, yeah. I'll do whatever you want. I'm like, yeah, okay. She was on that. Did you ever watch that program Mystery Diners on Food Network?
No, I've seen it. I haven't seen it.
She was on that basically.
Yeah.
And she's
ready
ready and waiting for us to use whenever we want.
I think the niche shows, like the car people, the guys who do the classic car shows, they have people from New Zealand and Brazil who listen to it. So it's just because it's a niche thing. I think.
Yeah,
it's got a wider audience, really. And,
Well,
and now it's on DAB. She's on DAB, but you have to search on your DAB, and it's under Black Country Radio. Okay. And some people have said they can't get it, and other people said, yeah, it's just right under there. So you can tell your folks.
Absolutely.
You just check on the DAB main screen, and it's under Black Country Radio.
So anyone who's watching this from around the world on YouTube, or 58,000, I think there isn't there subscribers now.
58,000
subscribers from around the globe.
Really?
So if you want to tune into Black Country Extra,
they'll all be watching you.
They'll all see Phoebe. They'll see us.
No way, that's incredible.
And, it's crazy, isn't it?
So I suppose you'll have broken them out. I mean, it's like Taylor Swift, isn't it? You'll have broken America by the end of next year.
Yeah,
won't
yeah,
you?
we'll be doing like a stadium worldwide tour. Pest Interceptors live.
Well, that's
Phoebe
what
could
to
be the
do.
support act. Phoebe Pest Interceptors
There's another
Juniors.
thing. You could do like, what they do, they have them talk shows at the Royal Albert Hall between two of them, don't they? And you could do the Pest Interceptors.
Yeah, and you
chat
get like
show.
that super vet guy. What's his name?
Yeah.
He's got he does a stage show. We're like, what do you do? How does a vet do a stage? We can do a
Exactly.
bloody stage show.
Could be brilliant.
Bring your pests along, we'll whack them.
That's something you should think about, because I mean, there's things like Stourbridge Town Hall that you could try one, couldn't you? You could trial one and see if it went.
I'd love to go to like the schools as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
schools would be
do things,
fantastic.
but
I think so.
it's
Yeah.
just setting it. Oh, it's having the time. That's,
Yeah.
That's the be all and end
The
all
thing
of
is,
it.
though, what we're going to do, we're going to take a dead rat into school and, like, you know what I
I've
mean?
got that massive wasp nest stuck in my shed still. That I've had for about 5 years. Thinking that one day I might.
It's strange
Take it
though,
to
because
school,
when
show the kids.
Katie who does the dementia programme, they used to get the folks from Dudley Zoo and they'd take spiders and snakes and all that.
Yeah.
Well, these folks got down. They loved it, absolutely. I'm sure the kids would love something
You know,
like
the
that.
string to our bow, I suppose.
Yeah, the strings to your back. Absolutely.
Coming to your school, Phoebe.
Next
You
time,
could be like, my dad's coming in today to show us a dead rat.
next time in day, I could just bring like dead rat in and go. This is my
Oh,
talent.
there's one on the roof of the truck at the moment.
Is
out
that
there.
still on
Is
there?
that
That's
still
been on there for a week.
Yeah.
now.
Really?
The trouble is with me, whenever I catch something, I'll put it in a bag, I'll put it in the back of the van or whatever. A few days later, I'll be like, what's that smell? I'll be like, oh, there's a dead mouse in the back. So then I'm going to
Really?
find it, rooting around the back of the van, trying to find the dead thing. But it's on his roof at the minute.
It's what, the white one that's out?
No, the
other
roof
one.
rack on the black.
Oh,
thing,
the roof
just
rack.
throw it
Oh,
up there.
my
I'm allowing him to drive my big truck.
Yeah,
And
oh,
I'm like in the white van.
Yeah.
He's a white van man.
Yeah. I quite like it
Please
really.
don't kidnap me.
You say you quite like it because you're up high and you're looking down on people.
You haven't supposed to be doing that for a Ranger. I'm not a transit van, mate.
Well, I suppose the next time you see you'll have your Tales of Mexico and
You'll be all tanned.
You'll have Phoebe's videos of the junior one, won't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to hold him to that, Phoebe, over Christmas. Get into it.
We will, I promise you.
Absolutely.
That could be your Christmas present. Right,
So
we'll
we're
do anything
going
else.
out to the track by L City, which I didn't think would be in our library, but it is. So well done, whoever put that in the library. Fireflies, I suppose that's
That says it all, doesn't it?
So give you details out one more time, then where to find out about
Pestinterceptors.co.uk is our main website. If you want to buy our traps, it's blue for a reason. Pestinterceptors.com or rat flaps or stuff like that. Help at pestinterceptors.co.uk if you want to email us. But just leave us alone for a few weeks at Christmas.
Yeah, after
Give us a
Christmas,
break.
just don't contact him. Anyway, here's L City, and it's a track called Fireflies.